Well, the Final Four is set, and before we get into the games, let's go over what we're at and what we're with. So, for the first time since 2011, is there not a one seed in the Final Four? That year, see if you hear a coincidence, Connecticut cut down the nets. Butler, Kentucky, and let's go VCU were the four schools represented in the Final Four, but no one seed. This year as well, the first time since 2019 will the Big 12 not cut down the championship nets. 2021 was Baylor. 2020 did not happen. And 2022 last year it was Kansas. So 2 years in a row, and then the DNP'd year for the past three times. So the Big 12 will not be represented in the championship game. Also, since the first time since 2021, when Gonzaga got annihilated by Baylor, will we have a mid-major in the championship? And as far as my individual picks league that I run on the side goes, there's a chance we could have our third ever default champion in 30 plus years. So I'm kind of rooting for a champion to be crowned, but to the same extent, I'm kind of rooting for Florida Atlantic to cut down the nets. Let's start with the game that just ended, the one that's still kind of burning me because I had Texas winning the national championship and my official number one pick, which was my KOD picks. Well, I guess I KOD'd because Texas up 13 is when it happened. And Jim Larinaga proved he out-coached Texas's interim coach. I'm sorry, it just happened. It was every time Texas took a shot, it was a hard shot. Sometimes they went in, sometimes they didn't. But every shot they took was a hard, contested shot. Inversely, Miami's shots came with ease and little trouble. And that when you're down 12 with 12 minutes to go, that's your checkpoint. When you're down 10 with 10 minutes to go, you got your checkpoint. 8 was supposed to be 8, and they were only down 6. And then they were down 4 with 6 minutes left. They were jumping the gun, and you could just feel momentum. And not once was a timeout used. Larinaga outcoached Texas, and that's why Miami is in the Final Four. Now, it didn't hurt one bit. Jordan Miller did not miss a single shot the entire night. 27 points, made all 7 of his shots, made all 1,000,006 of his foul shots. MVP of the game. Game ball goes to Jordan Miller. What a huge asset he was for the Canes. So if you're big on the U, then you're happy right now. This will be Larinaga's second ever Final Four. George Mason back in 06 was his first. And guess what, folks? He's the only one there with the Final Four. The front runner now, who I honestly think is going to win it all, and they might win big, is Connecticut. They are just land steaming through. Smallest victory so far, I believe, is 15 points. Very few teams, you can count them on one hand in 30-some years of teams that have won all 6 games by double digits. And Connecticut has a chance to be that team. Most recently, it was Villanova back in when they went to San Antonio. I know because we were there. UConn could be the front runner now, and that was just another whooping they put on Gonzaga, and it just the better team won. And Danny Hurley clearly knows what he's doing. He's a great coach. He's always been a great coach. VCU fans can attest to that because when Hurley was at Rhode Island, those games were living hell. And VCU got away from some of those victories, but there was a lot of nights where Rhode Island was the better of the two squads, and it's because of their head coach. Now that he's up in Connecticut, he's got his guys and his program and his team. That 3-week little null switch from early February on, they've gotten past that. They're peaking at the right time. Connecticut is now the front runner to cut down the nets. Left side of the bracket, it's everybody's favorite. Okay, you got the mid-majors. You got San Diego State coming out of the East, who was in a Dukem back-and-forth fist battle of who was more of the defensive team, and it came down to one foul shot. And yes, that was a foul. San Diego State's in the Final Four for the first time ever. And everybody's darlings now, Florida Atlantic from Boca Raton, Florida. So we got two schools from just outside of Miami representing the Final Four. Florida Atlantic Owls, the 9 seed from Conference USA, jumping up to the American Conference next year, is in the Final Four as well, with another huge victory over Kansas State. And I'm sorry, you're Kansas State, and you don't you got to get that shot off. You got to get that shot off with just seconds left, and they didn't even get the shot off. Once again, the better full squad won, and I can see Florida Atlantic advancing into Monday night's championship game against UConn. There's the Elite Eight breakdown. What are your thoughts, people? It's been a great tournament. That's why they call it March Madness. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks for watching.